Happy Friday. I want to make this video because there was an interesting video about myself and other left-wingers being banned from Twitter, not from YouTube. I said the wrong thing. And another video that was probably shit. I was going to talk about the first one. First one was Kyle Kulinski from Secular Talk. He is a progressive YouTuber who I've followed for a very long time. He's been part of the TYT network and connected with them, but he's also quite independent and does his own thing. He made a video about myself, Cult of Dusty, Amazing Atheist, and another person I don't know called Reagan something. I'm sorry, I'll put it on the screen. Being banned from Twitter. It's quite interesting because before I was banned from Twitter, I had quite a contentious argument with Kyle about Alex Jones. I felt and still feel that his banning was totally justified, and a lot of people have been talking about a kind of slippery slope, and they see this round of like left-wingers and stuff being banned, and even like Gavin McGuinness and the Proud Boys being banned, and there's a bunch of other right-wingers as well, as being the tipping point for the kind of slippery slope censorship that I, apparently, as a regressive scum, love. And I vehemently disagree with him about that, but I think his position has moderated a little bit on that, because I simply did not see saying that a particular person was running a child rape ring, and saying that a specific group of families were crisis actors whose children didn't really die because they're just trying to take your guns, and that a specific yogurt company was purposefully hiring migrant rapists for some reason, just to try to attack those people and say, I don't know what the goal of that was. I don't know. Just defaming that company and constantly saying, take up your guns, and adding little caveats like, politically, let's politically take them down and smash their heads on the ground and crush them, politically speaking, and not feeling that those caveats are really enough to justify that kind of rhetoric, that those don't all add up to a huge affront of freedom of speech, or anything specifically about like a particular point of view or a conservative viewpoint or something challenging the power and taking on the man. Not seeing anything like that, I felt like fuck Alex Jones. It's no loss to anybody. If Alex Jones is like the tipping point of the death of freedom of speech, then I don't know. The tipping point was good. The guy that got banned, that was totally justified. That was a good point. And then there was a lot of bad stuff after that, but I kind of reject that. I don't think that that's the case. And I'm going to explain why in this video. Kyle made a video about this, just saying that obviously like me and Cult of Dusty and other people were banned for absurd reasons.
This is, to me, I don't know the exact issue that Cult of Dusty was banned from Twitter over, but I'm relatively certain it's bullshit because I've seen some of his stuff. By no stretch of the imagination is he a hateful dude. I mean, if you compare him to a guy like Alex Jones, and remember, I took heat over defending Alex Jones. I think he's an odious character, and I go after him all the time, but I wouldn't have pulled Alex Jones from YouTube as he was. Now Alex Jones is in Twitter suspension. But either way, I don't want to muddy this issue because there really is no comparison. That's the point, is that Cult of Dusty, when you compare him to a guy like Alex Jones, Cult of Dusty is like a lamb. He does nothing wrong ever in that sense. So I don't know the specific reason they gave, but Cult of Dusty was banned from Twitter. Overwhelmingly likely it's total bullshit. If you know the exact reason, you can go ahead and put it in the comment section of this video.
As I pointed out in my last video, I'm on my second account. There's a funny part in the video when Kyle said, I have to get a better handle because I'm called Demotivator, and he found that very hard to say.
What we should all agree on is Cult of Dusty, Reagan, and Demotivator. Tim, you really should have done a better handle because that shit is hard to remember, and people, maybe you won't be able to get back on because people won't know how to fucking type it. But anyway.
But that's actually related to this topic because my original handle was Demotivator. Or it was Demotivator Opinion, I can't remember. And I couldn't have the same handle twice, so I had to choose a new one. So it was Demotivator, but Demotivator is my handle. It's just, it was fun seeing Kyle struggle to say that. But Kyle was saying, obviously, we do things sarcastically, or we offend people, or we say things that people don't like, and then a bunch of right-wing trolls get revenge by reporting things. And I have no way of knowing because, as I said in my first video, the message I received was, you have done targeted harassment against somebody. And in my appeal, I said, what targeted harassment have I done? Because if I have done targeted harassment, I would like to know about that, because that is not what I stand for. That is not my kind of thing. That's not something that I think is good. Please tell me what it was so that I can do better in the future or delete those tweets. And all I got back was, you have done targeted harassment. So I messaged back, like, what targeted harassment? And then I got another message back, you've done targeted harassment. A robot is replying to me, isn't it? It's just a machine. And that's why I was originally banned and then got a second account, because I don't think it's fair to not know what you did wrong. I think if somebody broke the terms of service in a way that they can actually show using like logic and rationality and reason, then that kind of makes sense. That's what that system is all about. But if they can't tell you what you did and they just send you a prepackaged message saying you did targeted harassment, then the system is just totally manipulable. That's not manipulable by trolls of all stripes. Left-wing trolls, right-wing trolls. If you don't like somebody, just look through their Twitter history for something that seems problematic and report it. And if you're lucky, it will get through and the robot will ban you, because they don't fucking care about you and they don't care about me. They don't care about Cult of Dusty. They don't care about Amazing Atheist. They do care about Alex Jones. For some reason, at least on Twitter they do. But in general, they do not give a fuck about any of us. I think that's what people don't seem to realize when they make it so political. Kyle just made the case in a very reasonable and fair-minded way that it's ridiculous that Twitter cannot figure out when people are just being offensive, or just making a joke, or just saying something that you don't like, saying something even mean, but you're not doing it from a place of maliciousness, that you're trying to actually hurt people and cause harm and do things that are dangerous. You're just in some kind of slap fight with some idiot online. The snark is flying back and forth. You say something sarcastic and they say something sarcastic, or you're just in a tedious argument where people are not listening. You get annoyed, so you say, well, if you also think that, then you can lick my balls or some shit. Right-wing troll flags that, and then the Twitter machine and the people there who don't really give a fuck about what they're doing at all in terms of trying to figure out what those kind of conversations are about, they just say ban. They just delete you. That's it. And it was a very good video. I'd recommend it. I'll link it below. I also have this new vape. I always cough when it's on camera. There was also another video about it, which probably sucked donkey dick, which I did not watch, because that person sucks and I don't want to hear their opinion. That's an anti-feminist called Bearing, who has sent many of his followers, I see you out there, to my channel to just be twats. Hello. Now, me and Bearing have a history that goes back a while that is boring. So I'm not really going to talk about that. But he made some dumb video in his stupid way to his many fans who do not think about things, about how supposedly ironic it is that I got banned from Twitter, given that I was just saying that Alex Jones getting banned was okay. And in fact, that I wanted Alex Jones banned, and that I still do. Whenever I have any kind of interaction with Bearing, I don't want any. I don't want to hear his opinion. I do not want his support. I don't respect him. The result is always the same. Heaps of people show up. They do not care about the point that you made in your original video. I don't know what it is. Just a form of brainwashing or something where anything Bearing says about what I think or believe is automatically true. Even though the guy's not exactly a deep thinker and I have very little faith in his ability to know what my positions are, so I'll make it a little bit clearer. Now, this is not to Bearing, because fuck that guy. This is to his followers, because they are the people who have been commenting on my channel, and it gives me an idea of what kind of video he made. I have no doubt about it. I haven't watched it, that the video is saying that I'm like hypocritical and it's ironic because I want other stuff banned. However, Bearing is a much greater person. He's really like got such values that even though Tim hates me, I'm gonna make a stand for him. Go attack this guy, but don't, okay? You will be at this guy's channel because of me, but say that, you know, you do everything of your own accord and it's not because you're part of this fucking herd of followers who just follow this fucking guy's opinion no matter what he says. Go at his channel and repeat a bunch of stupid bullshit and then say, I did it of my own accord. I'm not part of a fucking herd. I'm a free thinker just like the rest of these guys. And then the circle is complete. The exchange with Bearing has taken place. But the comments I'm getting show me what kind of video he made. Comments like, I'm so glad you're off Twitter, Tim, because of your dangerous hate speech. And this is the world that you wanted. This is what you wanted to happen, so enjoy what you've made for yourself. This is the bed you've made. And to those people, I have a few simple questions. First, tell me, when have I ever accused somebody of committing a crime? Now, people say, Tim, you called Bearing a rape apologist. Rape apologist is a bad thing. It's not nice. It's not pleasant. you could perceive that as being kind of defamatory in its own way, but is that a crime? Did I accuse him of being a child rapist? Did I accuse him of forming rape gangs by importing Muslim rapists? Did I say he was creating a mass psyop on the entire world to get guns taken away by pretending that his children had been murdered in a massacre? Have I ever said that people should take up their weapons and be ready because a civil war is coming and it's time for war? Or have I even said anything that sounds like it could be interpreted as wanting violence, where it wasn't clear that I was being entirely satirical about it? And the people who say Alex Jones has just said, get the fuck out, man. So many people believe his bullshit. That's a ridiculous argument. Unless you're saying that people are so fucking stupid that they think Alex Jones is real, in which case it's still dangerous, because nobody actually believes that anything that I say, which is satirical and joking, is being serious. And if you do, you're a fucking moron. So tell me where I've done any of those things. And if you can, I'll agree with you. I'll say, yes, I should have been banned because I was a complete lunatic who was trying to destroy people's lives. Yes, I absolutely should have been banned if that's the kind of person that I was behaving like. How am I a hypocrite, considering my position is people should be banned for things that they actually should be banned for, and not be banned for things which obviously are like very interpretable or subjective or obviously satirical or obviously a joke or even just offensive, you know? And it's okay when people, for example, insult me. I'm never gonna ban and I'm never gonna attempt to censor anybody who insults me. I don't care about being insulted. Go fucking crazy. Say whatever the fuck you like. But if you accused me of committing a crime, and if you went out of your way to say over and over again that I had done something horrible that I haven't done, then that is stepping over a line that you should be fucking banned from these places for. How specifically does Baring not understand this argument? I don't know. He's not the brightest bulb in the bulb farm. Where do people keep bulbs? In the bulb box. Yeah. Hey, kitty. Now, putting aside all of the pointless, redonkulous straw man going on in the comment sections, what is my actual position on corporate power and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and the nature of those companies? That can be explained by a different source, which is not me, which is a documentary I saw recently at a film festival, which is called The Cleaners. I don't know if it's out in the general public. Before I upload this video, I'll check to see if there's some way of linking that to people. This documentary is about how these platforms actually work in regards to speech and what people say and do. The movie follows a bunch of Filipino workers who are known as cleaners, and their job is to check what stuff is offensive and what stuff isn't offensive against the terms of service. And that's their entire job. Whenever they see an offensive image or something which is questionable, they have the option of ignore, which means that it just goes past and then it goes on to some other person. Or delete, which I somehow failed to mention, so just recording it now.
Delete. Ignore. Ignore.
Delete. Delete.
Ignore. Ignore. Delete.
Companies decide what can stay up and what must be taken down.
Delete.
Outsourcing should be disturbing to people in democratic societies.
There are tens of thousands doing this work. All of it's done in secret.
They need to be anonymous because we have a contract sign in. Ignore.
Our decisions will impact what 2 billion people are thinking.
But that is their sole job, and the documentary talks about how these people are not political. They do not care at all about progressive or right-wing. They don't care about alt-right. They don't care about Donald Trump. They don't care about any of this shit. They don't care about you and me. The only thing that they care about is enforcing the terms of service. It's a top-down thing of terms of service trickling down to these Filipino workers who are outsourced, paid barely anything, and then subjected to all sorts of disgusting images of beheadings and violence and death and mayhem, and all of our nonsense and bullshit. And I think that's probably the people who are handling all of our crap. Occasionally, like the big people at Twitter, like Jack Dorsey, cotton on to Alex Jones, and that becomes a big thing. But I think for someone like me, and for someone like Cult of Dusty, and someone like Amazing Atheist, we're just being subjected to the control of a monolithic, faceless corporation, which is a bureaucracy overseen by people who are actually surprisingly apolitical in that they don't give a fuck about anybody's principles or values. They don't care what I'm saying right now. No one's gonna see this video at Twitter or Facebook or YouTube and give a single fuck about my opinion, or who I am, or that I should be unbanned. Like, nobody cares about that kind of thing. And before you say, nobody cares about that, Tim, because you're just irrelevant and you're small-time whatever, they don't care about Bering. They don't care about Sargon of Akkad. They don't care about Kyle Kalinske. They don't care about Jimmy Dore. They don't care about any of us. It applies to all of us except Alex Jones for some reason. But I think, like, when somebody gets banned from Twitter, they take it so personally, and they think that it's all about somebody at Twitter and Facebook deciding we're going to enable these views and we're going to enable these views, when that's actually not what's really going on. They don't care about what views they enable at all. The only reason they have an issue with anything is that it will get in the way of the general marketability of their platform. If it doesn't appeal to the most possible amount of people, then it's a problem. And political people create controversy, and controversy is not good for their business model. It's not what they want. Making people uncomfortable, being offensive, etc., challenging the power, they don't like that. That's not what they want. And it has nothing to do with left and right. It's got nothing to do with conservative or progressive. Nobody is being specifically targeted unless being controversial is a target. Then all of us have targets on our backs. It's not about Alex Jones because he's not just controversial, like he's literally saying people are child rapists. So that's why I don't include him in this equation, and that is why I reject the characterization of people like Bering, that it's ironic in any way that I would still want that guy fucking banned. Anyways, it's a really quite an interesting movie. I definitely recommend it. It's got other interesting points, such as Facebook has actually colluded with governments, like the government of Turkey, government of Iran, and particularly the government of Myanmar, formerly Burma, and that a lot of the rhetoric used to create the genocide against the Rohingya people is propagated on Facebook, and the government supports that and makes that happen and spreads it as much as they can, and Facebook doesn't do anything about it. Facebook has come to agreements with many of these governments that it's okay to censor speech against the government. And that's when it's like really getting into some fucked up free speech stuff. The fact that the people who want to genocide the Rohingya are encouraged by the government to do that on Facebook, and the people who are like, hey, don't genocide the Rohingya, get banned. I mean, that's a whole nother level than just anti-SJWs and SJW, whatever. That stupid garbage that we've bought into. There's a whole other side to this, which is that Facebook is actually making deals with governments to perpetuate genocides. And people are over here worrying about fucking Alex Jones, who is no help to nobody. It's a total fucking waste of time. In the meantime, in Myanmar, they're perpetuating a fucking genocide with the help of Facebook. People's priorities don't make any sense. Sargon of Akkad made a video about me, in which he said, "Why are you so fucking unpopular? Nobody likes you. You're the worst. You're terrible. You're fucking autistic." All this crap. They went on and on and on and on, and I didn't report it, because I don't know why I should report someone insulting me. He was being very personal. It was quite insulting. I felt a little bit bad, but I never once thought I'm going to report this. I just felt, well, I'm going to have to get over this. It's disappointing that he's being so caustic. I also reported a tweet of someone basically torturing a squirrel, I think it was, in an incredibly sadistic fashion. I have no idea where the video came from, but I was like, I'm reporting that shit. That's disgusting. But besides that, I haven't reported anyone, so how is this me sleeping in the bed I've made for myself? Never tried to get political opponents shut down. It's too far when you say some innocent random dude is running a rape ring in his pizzeria. Finally, I don't want your support, Bering. Go away. Leave me alone.